You are listening to the Urban Sports Scene on Empire Media at empiremedia.com. And family, it's now time for the ever so dope HBCU Corner segment. And we have a special guest joining us today that boasts a basketball resume that spans over 2 decades. Our guest was a hoop standout for the University of New Haven, where she amassed over 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds, including 47 double-doubles over her 4-year playing career, which resulted in a 2010 induction to the New Haven Athletics Hall of Fame. Our guest's former coaching career began in 1998, where she served as a graduate assistant at the University of Hartford. And this experience will propel our guest to major success that includes serving as an assistant coach at Fairleigh Dickinson, the United States Military Academy, as well as a top assistant coach and recruiting director at Seton Hall University. Our guest has also been a successful head coach that includes leading her alma mater, New Haven, to a 44-16 record and 2 postseason appearances while serving in the head role for 2 seasons. Our guest was named head basketball coach of the Howard University Bison women in 2015, where her success continues, including a 2022 MEAC tournament title. Welcome to the Urban Sports Scene, finally. Head coach of the real HU, Todd Grace. Welcome to the show, Coach. What's up?
Thank you. Don't do that though. I've been trying. I'm happy to be here finally though. But I get it. I'm glad you guys have me on. I appreciate it. I'm glad we finally make it.
Man, it's worth it. Put it that way. It's worth it. We're glad to have you. We're excited about this. We wanted this to happen. So I'm glad we're glad to finally have you. Be honest with you.
Yes.
All right. So usually we start these questions off with like a homecoming question. We start these segments off with like a homecoming question. Mm-hmm. You went to New Haven. How is that compared to how is New Haven's homecoming compared to like a Howard homecoming?
Don't do my like that. No, because I'm gonna be real. Like it's not the same, but I love my blue and gold. I bleed blue and gold, and I bleed blue from a Howard perspective. But it's a different animal. It's a different element. You know, everybody's homecoming is special, but Howard is something that is actually out of this world. I mean, I came to Howard homecoming, and I did not even attend when I was younger. So that kind of tells you, you know, the kind of feel it has. So I don't want to compare the two, you know, but I will say that Howard might have to win that one out.
I got you. So how was like your first experience like doing a homecoming? As a, say regardless, like as a coach or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the biggest fear for me was worried about how my players were going to be in practice. I was the first coach, like, hey, you know, don't do nothing too crazy. We got practice tomorrow. I was trying to have practice. Let's just say I don't have practice the day after homecoming anymore. That was my last having practice the next day. That kind of solidified not doing that. But it was a great atmosphere. I mean, just having everybody on the yard, and we had people coming to practices. We have our open practices and everything in the football game. And it's just a really, really good vibe. I really enjoy homecoming.
So coming from like New York and now being basically in the DMV, like how has that transition been for you?
It hasn't been bad. Like I know the East Coast. Like I traveled the East Coast. I recruited this area when I was in New York. So I know the area a little bit. So it wasn't a bad transition. It was a good transition. I felt like I kind of fit right into things, and I had relationships and such down here. So it worked out really good. So I'd say it was a really good transition.
Okay, cool. So obviously you had such a decorated, you know, career in New Haven as a player. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame. You coached there. What made you want to leave your alma mater for the HU? I have to say that that's one of my good friends at HU.
The only one. Let's not get twisted.
I know. Believe me, I almost got beat up for it. I know. I get it.
Watch out,
I get it.
It wasn't even more so that I wanted to leave. I could have stayed at my alma mater, as you might know. Like they wanted me to stay there, and I had an opportunity to stay, and you know I had a lot of discussion with my AD before I left. I think it was just more of me challenging myself, you know, as a coach, as an individual, and you know, just taking that next step in my career. I saw so many great things being at New Haven, and you know, just knowing what I could offer. And I felt like I had given a lot, you know, as a player, like you mentioned, and then being a coach to be able to have that much success so fast maybe surprised a lot of people, but I had poured so much into it. It was where, I kind of grew as a young woman and, learned who I was as a person and a player. So coming to Howard, it wasn't easy leaving. It wasn't like a decision I was just like, oh, I'm going. But it definitely was something that, hey, this is the next step for me. This is, this will be a great challenge to kind of see really where I am in my career and to be able to coach. I had been a head coach at every level except D1. And so that was my opportunity to do that. So that was some of the reasons why.
Well, you've been very successful since coming to Howard in 2015. Your record in the MEAC is 62-44. What has been the key to your success?
A lot of hard work, a lot of patience, getting the right players. We had to kind of find the right players that wanted to be good students and good basketball players. Sometimes you have one or the other. And I think, being a student at Howard, yes, there is so diverse that you have to find players and kids and student athletes that kind of fit in that environment where, it's all inclusive and they're able to like save the world, go do speeches at the Capitol and be able to do everything and then be an elite athlete and be a great student. So we just went out, I got my staff to really kind of hone into that. And we found some, really good players that kind of fit all of that and embody those things. And we've been able to have success. So I'm really happy about that.
I want to ask if you knew about the history of Howard University and the ladies, because when I was in school, when Wole and I were there in our alma mater, which we already talk about that all the time, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, good luck against them. I'm rooting for them, but hey, we appreciate you for coming on. Anyway, we could not be Howard back then. Could not be Howard. And one time my senior year, we finally got them. But over that span, going back to the 80s, they won MEAC titles on a regular basis. It's just been a winning program. That you know that, and were you aware of that coming into the job?
I did. I was very aware of Coach Tyler. She's a legendary coach in the game. And just they were playing the likes of like Tennessee and they were bringing people like that to the Burn. I learned that from Ed Hill. I know you guys know Ed Hill. He's the former sports information director at Howard. I kind of learned those things later on, but I knew that they had a tradition of winning. Kathy Parsons and a friend of mine, Nikki Reed, who's the associate head coach at Georgetown. She was the head coach prior to that too. So I was a friend of her. So I followed Howard basketball. And so I knew the battles between them and Hampton and them just kind of making that stretch in the MEAC every year, just kind of dominating. So yes, I was familiar with it and I was like, okay, this is something that you can do here. That was another reason why taking the job at Howard. If there was no other HBCU, it was going to be Howard, because I knew that the ability to win and have success and be a global brand was going to be, something that I could use to kind of help with that. So yes, very familiar.
So you also, as you know, we have a rich history in terms of ballers in the DMV. So how much of a focus is your recruiting here in the DMV?
We have a great focus here. We love to keep a lot of the kids home. I have 4 kids on my roster right now from the DMV, 2 kids from Oxon Hill, Flowers, from National Christian, Kaya Creek, Ayanna Warren, Kanaya Harris, and Anaya Wilson. So we've made it a point of emphasis to make sure that we try to have kids on our roster every year from the DMV. Obviously, some of them decide to leave, and that's great. I want kids to be happy. You never want them to, make decisions based off what other people want. But I want to keep the homegrown kids. I want to make sure that, we're getting the best kid. Because people tend to think that we don't want to get the best athletes. No, we want the best athletes. We don't want we want the best like everybody else. So yeah, we're gonna keep trying to do that, and hopefully, players will believe in us and see the growth and see the success and know that they can come and compete and be an All-American, be an All-MEAC player, those kind of things, and even go to the next level. So.
Well, speaking of going to the next level or playing a high level, last season the Bison won their first MEAC tournament title since 2001, securing a ticket to the NCAA tournament. Plus, your team won the first NCAA tournament game in school history. How was that experience?
Every time I get that, I get like a little chill. Like it was great. Like it's just one of those memories that I will never ever forget. I will cherish forever. It was just to be able to see our players be on that kind of platform and be able to, display their talents. And yes, we won't talk about the last game, but, just to be in that atmosphere and just to be a part of that and just to be on that stage was something that they'll never forget, like the experience I'll never forget. So it was great. It was amazing. People treated us great. It was really, really good. Not one bad thing to say about that experience.
Do you like look back and say to yourself, I was at New Haven, coaching New Haven. Like you said, you weren't coaching in Division 1. You had to test yourself, and you were now able to win an NCAA tournament game. Like, really think about that. That's like real dope when you go back and think about that.
It is. I don't really talk about that a lot. People ask me a lot of that questions, but it is something that I'm very proud of. Like, I take a lot of pride in that. And, even being in New Haven, we went to the NCAA tournament, those 2 years, and it was a big deal. Like those kind of accomplishments are really big deals. And I'm glad that I'm able to be a part of it. And it's dope. Like, to be able to say that I did that. Not a lot of people, coaches in their lifetime will ever say they've ever been to a tournament or even won a game in a tournament. So to be able to do both in the same year was like, all right, cut the check. Somebody cut a check. Something.
So bigger than basketball, though, the overall culture at Howard. I asked Coach Blakeney, what was his response when, whatever you want to call him, did he love? What does he call himself now? You know what I'm talking about?
Love,
when he dropped that donation, what was your initial reaction? Because you're part of that.
Right. No, I needed Diddy to say what he said to Dion. I needed him to say that to Ty Grace. I need him to say, Ty Grace, I'm dropping this $1 million on Howard women's basketball.
Oh, I know that's right.
He left the generic Howard University, so we all gonna split that, but it's all love. Long as it comes to the university, I'm not mad. Hopefully I'll see $2 of it, $3, whatever. We all get to get a little piece of the pie. I won't be greedy. So it's just to be able to see our name so frequently talked about on TV, on these shows, and it's just great to see. It's just great exposure. So I was happy just to be mentioned, even if we don't get to see a little bit of it.
And you deserve every piece of it. So, all right, you all haven't entered conference play yet, but what is the key for you all to repeat as MEAC champions? And also, who are some of the players that you will have to rely on to achieve that goal?
So we start MEAC tomorrow. We start with Delaware State, tomorrow at 2:00. So, we got plagued this season with some injuries early on, and we still are. So that's one of the biggest things. Staying healthy it's been hard. It's not just unique with Howard. It's every team wants to stay healthy. You want to make sure your players are well. So that's one of the things that we're trying to work towards. Like, we got to get back healthy. We haven't had the same starters. Maybe for the past 6 games, we've been kind of rotating. You get an ankle injury here, concussion. So it's been a lot of different things. So I'm hoping that will start to come back together. And then, we have to take care of the basketball. Like, that was one of our Achilles heel. Even though we won as much as we did last year, we didn't do a great job, valuing the basketball, and we're doing a better job this year. And then the rebounding, I talked to my team about, like, we have to, attack the glass in a way that we're on the other side of it at the end of games. And, some of the important people that you asked about, Destiny Howell, she's been having a phenomenal season. She just had another career high last week against VCU with 35 points. Tanaya Harris had 13 assists, another DMV native from Flowers High School. She's been our general right now. Our starting point guard, Ayanna Warren from Oxon Hill, has been plagued with ankle injury. So she's been out. And then Brooklyn Ford Davis, one of our forwards, she had last year a great stretch as the end into that MEAC tournament. So her, Chrislyn Marsh, and then I'm just hoping that my bench steps up, especially in these times that we're plagued with the injuries. I'm hoping that they can step into their role and really excel and go beyond where they've been to kind of help us win. So I'm hoping that that's going to start to change a little bit.
Wole, before you get to the last question, I want to ask you, because I saw a quote of yours some time ago, like, man, I done coached against UConn. So when you enter like conference play, are you like, whatever, it's the MEAC, we got this?
No,
I was kind of thinking that myself. I ain't want to say it either.
No, not at all. I don't have that mentality. Man, I tell my team any given night, somebody's going to come for your head. Like, if you're not ready to play and compete, like, you can go down. I don't care who you are, from top to bottom. And then when it's like the MEAC, we have some really good players and coaches. So I don't take any of those games for granted. You know, I want my team, you know, to dominate. I want us to be on top, but I also say, don't sleep on anyone. You better become ready to play every single day, every single night. You better have the scout ready, your A game ready. Because you can get beat. You know, it's just that simple. I told them they are the hunted now. It's nice to be regarded as a team to beat, but yes, that's even more. They want to take you down. That might make their whole season. And so, you know, we got to be ready. So no, I'm very humble. I am very humble.
All right.
Look, Ray, if I had a 62-44 record against the MEAC teams, I don't know how humble I would be though.
I think that was when you were at New Haven. Though you was like, I done coached against bigger squads. Like I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the old Big East when I was at UConn, Maya Moore. Syracuse was in the Notre Dame was in the Big East. So I was every night. You didn't get a break. It was like my goodness.
So you coached against Skylar, and that's Wole's like lifelong crush. Yeah, she was tough in college.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
She's married now. Easy killer.
I know. I know. Believe me, I had to get over it a while ago. I had to.
Yeah.
They had Kayla McBride on that team. No, she was a baller one. Just Skylar. Them teams was good.
Studs all across the board. Like somebody subbed in, you couldn't take a break. The roster was. It was crazy.
Look, man, I appreciate you, Ray, for putting me on blast. I appreciate you.
I'm sorry.
Skylar. I still love you, Skylar.
I was a fan too. I'm on the bench. Why? I'm a fan and a coach. I'm like, dang. Yeah, kids like in the WNBA now. It's like I'm coaching against them. It's pretty amazing. Proud of all these young ladies.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even mention like that experience of coaching. What was that? The HB Ray. What was that again?
What's that?
NBA Combine.
Yeah, NBA Combine. How was that experience?
That was great. I mean, that's probably the hardest I've actually worked like in a practice setting.
Okay.
My arms were sore from all the passing I was doing. Like we were really engaged with these players. Like we really got to have really up close, personal conversations, working with them. It was a really, really good time just to see these young men trying to pursue their dreams and, you know, all the work and, you know, talking to the agents, wondering if they're going to come back for the next half and, you know, watching them run the shuttle runs and the jump. It was great. I had a great experience and to be able to coach them, you know, at that level, because, you know, sometimes there's a disparity about, you know, who can coach who and who can do what and stuff. So it was great. I was just thankful for experience and to meet those young men and the other coaches that were involved. It was really cool.
Look what Howard brought you. Look how much stuff you got to do. Like you in a tournament, you won a tournament game, NBA Combine. Like Howard has been swell for you.
It has. I must say, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be here at Howard. I don't know that this would be happening at any other school. So I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful for the players that came and played for me, and my AD, everyone. It has its challenges. So I don't want to act like the grass is all greeny. I'm not gonna do that. But for the most part, we've made the best out of what we've had and try to put Howard on the best platform to, you know, hopefully get more young Black females to come play and you know, pursue their degrees. And yeah, I'm really proud of it.
Well, Howard's lucky to have you too as well. So you're welcome. So what does coaching at the HBCU mean to you?
It means everything. I didn't have that opportunity. Obviously, you know, I went to a PWI. Because it was the opportunity that I was given to be able to go and play and not pay for school. I couldn't afford to pay for school. I was going to do it, figure out however I could, and that was the way. But to be able to be at Howard, you know, it gives you another sense of self, right? You get to see the people that, you know what I'm saying, you know, and that are doing the things that you're doing, that believe in you. You don't have to prove anything. You already come in as a special person. And so for me, that was just great. And so I want to continue to keep that, you know what I'm saying, to continue to pour into young Black women and men, because even though Howard 70% women, there are men, because you they're probably happy about that, right? You know, it's just great. It's just great being around so much Black excellence. Like we got Rhodes Scholars. Like these kids are so bright. Like they're so intelligent. They're all doing different things, from the people in the band to the science department, the dental school, the hospital. you just meet so many phenomenal people in that environment, and to be able to be a part of that is something special. To be with your own, it means something. You know, people can say whatever they want, but to be around people that look like you, you know, representation, as they always say, is extremely important. And hopefully people will continue to believe in that and support HBCUs and be a part of that culture.
Well, this has been awesome, Coach Grace. We appreciate you being on. I mean, I'm glad we finally got this to happen. Is there anything you would like to add before we let you go?
I appreciate you guys for having me. I know it took a little minute, but I'm glad that I was able to get on, and I hope people continue to support us, support Howard women's basketball, support HBCUs. Come see us play. We play tomorrow, 2:00, Delaware State. The full schedule is on hubison.com, and, you know, continue to support us. And thank you for you guys having this platform. Appreciate y'all.
I need a spot on the green lot, man. Then I'm there every time y'all play, man. I need a reserve space.
You can have my
spot. It's rough out here. I've been there a few times. Yeah, Derek, no, even though, you know, he in the background right now, but I will be there to see you in person, no doubt, for real.
And I will look forward to it. Please let me know when you're coming. You can have my spot. They can give me a ticket, whatever it is.
Oh my gosh, you're so nice, man. All right, thanks.
Y'all are great. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely.